Well, thank you for visiting today. I'm Tom Perone, New England Consulting Group, and today I got to talk to you about the awareness course. My One of the biggest things I've seen in my career is that many business owners spend so much time doing what they do. They do it well, but they forget about the other parts of their business, and they become what I would consider unaware of things happening. And unfortunately, those are the things that ultimately can create great financial chaos in their personal and financial life and business life. So today, what I thought I'd do is take a little while. This is a course that everybody should take. I don't know, maybe it's going to be 10 minutes, but we're going to go through some things that make you aware of things you should know, and hopefully it'll help you avoid some of the unaware things that will cause financial distress, chaos, and just craziness in your life. So today I want to talk about the major mistakes that are made because of business owners not being aware of the element in their business. And this course is really to deal with elements of the business areas of growth, protection, equity, transition. And like I said, business owners know what they're doing as far as what they do, their service or product. But when it comes to that other part of the business, sometimes that becomes the problem and causes all the issues that they have to deal with. So we're going to go through a couple of chapters on the course. We're gonna talk about those unawareness things and to what to be aware of. And this is sponsored by Building and Protecting Your Business Worth. And the introduction to this course is really based on 4 principles of business: the growth of the business, the protection of the business, the equity, and the transition of the business. So the quick course will help you think in terms of awareness of what you need to know. And because of that awareness, you'll reach out to other people to help you define what you need to know. I'm a big proponent of having business owners speak to professionals about these areas. So in capital growth is chapter 1 of a business. These are all the areas that I really feel that render value to the company: capital access, the customer base, economies of scale, that type of thing. These are all, each one of us, a value judgment that goes into the potential value, the greatest potential value for your business. Now, if you'd like some information on that, later you can email me and I will send you this information. There's a great bunch of good articles on it. One of the big and I would say important parts of value drivers is the key man. You know, if I'm going to buy your company, it's not that I want to be in that company. I want someone to be able to run the company for me. I'm the purchaser. I want to buy it. I don't know much about it, but I know it's got potential. It's going to grow. And if you have a key group or a key person that comes along with that sale, you're going to maximize your value. So key employee retention is one of the most important value drivers that I can suggest to you to build your middle management, because your middle manager is an asset. Just whether you like it or not, purchasers really don't want you around. They want the people that are doing it. And of course, as a business owner, you want to build this middle management because it allows you to free up time to do what you do better, whether that be taking a lot of time off, whether that be developing something that you're really good at. You know, the 2 or 3 things that really you're good at: delegation to a key person, to a key group, people that are going to act like owners. There's a key, what I call the key employee owner manual. This is really the responsibilities, almost like you would write it down, a one-page procedure for each of your procedures, so the employees know exactly how you make the French fries, right? So if I live in Branford, Connecticut, that McDonald's making the same French fry as Northampton, Massachusetts. It's the manual. It's how you run your business. It's systematic. And that's part of the owner's manual for key people. Chapter 2 is the protection. A premature death of an owner really can cause havoc. So one of the things that we do is to make sure that the owner's company is protected from suits, liability, risk management, death, having the buy and sell agreements funded, doing estate planning so that because your business is part of your state, not finding out that it's your death that you owe the state and the federal government big chunks of money. And what do you do there? So we need to spend some time on the protection element of your business. I find that a lot of business owners who have other insurance policies and stuff, they keep them in force, but they're really not doing what they wanted to do with them now. They might have bought them 40 years ago. We really audit those policies because that can be an area where we can change it around to maximize what's happening today in your business. Disability is a big thing. What happens if you have a disability and you can't work? What do we do there? Do you have a policy in place that talks about your salary? Do we have someone who can jump into your role? Do we have an insurance plan? Those are things to look at. Now, chapter 3 is really about the equity. As you become more successful and you create cash flow into your business, you start creating a higher value asset that it becomes the asset that maybe you do need for your retirement. Maybe you want out. Maybe you thought, you started the business thinking, well, this will create a good job, a position, a salary, a place to go. But little did you know it created value, maybe much more value than what you've been getting. And to not look at it as the true value of an asset is ridiculous, because now all of a sudden you're creating something that you can sell down the road and create value that you could use for your retirement. So we talk about, what are you doing with the equity that's flowing into your business? Are you putting too much equity in your business? Do you own too many things in your business? Or should some of it be on the outside, taking advantage of tax structures? One of the things that I suggest highly is that your companies can do more for you with the company corporate checkbook than you can do for yourself with your personal checkbook. And there are a lot of executive plans that are out there built for the owner to focus on a stream of income through the company to benefit he and his family, maybe selected people. You don't have to spread the wealth amongst everyone. You have a 401k, you have a profit sharing plan, but maybe there's dollars that can come in and focus just on the benefit for you. So when you do sell your company, that benefit walks with you along with the value of the company. If the company has a problem financially, that asset that you created through the cash flow stays with you. Making sense, right? Well, that's how we talk about the equity in the company. So in the equity, we're talking about things like retirement packages, wealth accumulation programs, executive compensation, employee motivation. A lot of times you have key people. Well, how do we keep them there? Sometimes we need to use tools like executive retirement plans, like non-qualified programs, like some of these executive medical plans, things that are special that'll keep them there. Because the key people, like I mentioned before, are really the valuable asset that you have in the company for value. Qualified plans through the company is obviously something to fund your retirement, another way of funding it. And, you know, employees to work for you are going to expect things that they get in benefits, whether it be health insurance, retirement. And you have to take a look at that because they have to be controlled because they can get out of hand. Having an audit of your benefits once every year or two is not a bad thing to do, and the type of plans that you have, because you might have qualified plans, but maybe there's room for non-qualified or non-regulated plans for you, where you're not under ERISA, you're stand separately from that. Transition is another part of the business element. What's going to happen to this business? I read a stat, I wrote about a stat, that like 87% of the business owners don't really have a transition plan, because they don't have an agreement, they don't have the funding, they haven't talked about it. For any of what we call triggers, what happens when someone leaves, there's a reason why someone leaves a business. We call that a trigger. It could be divorce, bankruptcy, retirement, death, disability, don't want to do it anymore, I'm out of here type of thing. So we want to look at what's going to happen with this business. Are you selling it to the market? People think they're going to sell to the market. Maybe that happens 5% of the time. 95% of the time, the small business owner sells to key groups, family, key person, 95% of the time. And then there's something that we've used over the years, where you're a passive owner, where you're grabbing benefits, but you're just kind of overlooking it and taking your vacations. And that's kind of a nice thing to look at too. But what we do is we really look at the blueprint for the inside transition very closely, because these are the people that have been working with you for years. They know the business. In many cases, they are people that act like the owner, but don't have any control. And if you did a good job in that value area, those are the people that have become the value of the company, because they're the people that stay when somebody new comes in to buy, if they don't buy it themselves. So it minimizes, when you have an inside transition, you can minimize taxes on the sale. You have a market. You can embellish the value of it too through different benefits. Passive ownership, I mentioned earlier. This is where we talk about, I want to own the control of it, but I want the rewards of it. And again, it comes back down to that key group, that key person, where they're there running the business. You pay them well, you will get an income out, you go play golf. It's that simple. What you also want to avoid is what I call orderly, or avoid unorderly estate distribution. In other words, if you don't do any estate planning, all of a sudden you die, and the estate's got to come up with a bunch of tax money, or there isn't any money in the estate. What does the company do? Will it survive? You want to know what you have to deal with before it has to be dealt with. And good estate planning is the way to do that. And I encourage our clients to do estate planning every couple of years, to look it over, review it. Legacy planning, that's an area where, okay, what's going to happen with all the stuff I have? I mean, I have a business, I have assets, I have all kinds of stuff going on. What do I want to do with that? And again, that's a thought process, because What you don't want to assume is that you're going to leave your business to your family if they're going to run it when they've never even stepped inside the door. Or you're going to leave it to a kid that's never even worked there. Or you're going to leave it to the kid that didn't work there but went to Wharton School of Finance. And the kid that worked there, he doesn't run it, but he knows everything about it. So you got to think this through. And transition is the area that we have that little discussion about, the transition and the succession of your business, which might be maybe the most valuable thing you have, and the thing that you've built up, the baby that's built up. Family relationships, very, very important, because I find a lot of our clients who have family members involved with the business. Sometimes having dinner with that person is a very difficult evening. So we talk about, how do we communicate with the family, and how do we establish the rules of the game? I just picture the young son getting out of college with a degree in business and trying to tell dad, who's run this thing for 40 years profitably, how to make changes that don't really fit in what dad wants to do. On the other side, I've seen the reverse, where the younger generation have some of the answers and some of the creative ways of upping the business. So having a family relationship and communication for really to create good times, good family times, rather bad family times. So we talk about that, and that's a discussion you should have. Of course, I've gone through this course in 15, 20 minutes, but what I was trying to say is there's some areas, those 4 areas of growth, protection, your equity, your transition and succession, that need to be known. I hope what I'm really getting across is, if you make a widget, don't reduce yourself and your knowledge to making that widget. There's more to running a business than making the widget. So I hope this was informative. I hope I got my point across. So thank you very much. However, we're not done. If you want a good book, because I wrote it, you want to go to Kindle, Amazon, get the book, a couple bucks, get the paperback, read it. Because these are the strategies of the last 50 plus years I've used with business owners. And as you can see, I don't make any money here. I give the profits to the Wounded Warrior Foundation or other veteran groups. So I want to thank you for taking the time. If you would like more information, email me at tperrone@necgginc, or call me 203-530-6615. I'm more than happy to talk to you about planning. I love to talk about it. And if you're a business owner and you haven't gotten on our podcast, my God, give me a call. I'd be more than happy to get you on the podcast, get you some free advertising, some free marketing material. So thank you so much for spending the time.